Beacon of youthful gore.
Alright everybody, welcome back to Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. So we can barter with this guy.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh
And we
winds
do
of
have
Sicily?
quite a bit of stuff. Drag items you wish to buy or sell onto the barter window. Balance the offer by pressing the scales. Confirm the transaction by pressing the blue accept button in the middle. You can also identify and repair items at a trader. Okay, so from your recollection of travelers' tales on your journey, this appears to be the main ingredient of the originally infamous pie from the King Crab Tavern in Sicily. So the effects are unknown, I'm guessing because we haven't combined things. Let's do that first.
Don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
So
Sailor, what news from the mainland?
Oh, nothing new, sir. Zombies, skeletons, you know the story. Legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! No, indeed. He drove it straight to the
I
bubble.
was hoping that maybe that would be cooked.
Yes, sir. As fine a specimen as one of her stock, sir. Wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthel Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Really?
Ha! No, indeed. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthel Gore anymore?
Kinda wish I gave you a hint on what you could craft or not. Obviously we don't need a tooth, but like the bones you can use for
I
stuff.
wouldn't let an orc win 500 yards of my loving nature.
I don't think we need these keys,
Sailor,
we've
what
used
news
them
from
all.
the mainland?
Oh, nothing new, sir. Zombies, skeletons, you know
No,
the
indeed. He
story.
drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthel Gore anymore?
Okay, so we can learn. When we learn recipes, we learn how to actually make it. So a tomato and 2 hammers.
500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Do we have 2? No, we only have 1.
No, indeed. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the
Is
Lizard
that
Councillor's
Bertie
wife.
still right?
Is that
A
why?
fighting
Yes,
knife.
sir. As fine a specimen as one of her stock, sir. Speaking of youthful
Okay, but
gore,
she
that
has,
loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc win
These
500
are better.
yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! No, indeed. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you
Okay,
enjoying
so-
the fresh winds of Sicily?
We do have 2
Speaking of
hammers.
youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! No, indeed. He drove it straight to the pub and
We
back.
might need the cooking pots.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthel Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really
Golden
thinks that
Grail.
orchid
Once
charm
an
loves
alchemist,
him.
simple bronze
I wouldn't let an orc
chalice,
win
this grail
500
was
yards
in
of my
just the
loving
right
nature.
place at just the right time, when its owner mastered the art of transmuting base metals. He charmed the grail with the power to transform basic clothing and armors from simple cloth and steel to lavish gold, and he never ran out of cash again.
And don't forget
Is this
the
just
time
for
he got
selling?
caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loop
I have a feeling that a lot of
really
stuff
thinks that orchid
can be
charm
used.
loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
The star represents the trader's attitude towards you. The higher the attitude, the better the prices. You can raise the trader's attitude by donating items or gold.
Yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love
Only
note
10?
to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub
Did
and
we
back.
talk to
Oh,
Pablo?
hail the rain spirit. That was a fine display of magicianship it was. Or who knew what he was doing, bringing in a source hunter, didn't he?
How about that burning ship?
I thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the arch shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails. But you managed to rescue her from a watery grave. Closest thing to a miracle I've ever seen.
Okay.
Federal's carriage for the joyride.
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail
Okay,
to
so we don't
Ythel
need
anymore?
both hammers. Okay.
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess
that
of Federal's
bird?
carriage for the joyride?
Okay, so let's go ahead and look at
Yes,
her.
sir.
No, it
As
ain't.
fine a
This
specimen
is level
of
2.
her stock, sir.
Attack is much better. Attack is
And
the
don't
same
forget the time he got
AP.
caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst. Ever hear about the
And
time
she
the
does
captain
better
took
with
the Duchess of
two-handed
Federal's carriage
stuff.
for the joyride?
Correct.
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing
Yes.
a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never
Sailor,
sail to
what news
Ythel
from the mainland?
anymore?
Oh, nothing new, sir.
Oh, I had his
Zombies,
bow.
Skeletons, you know the story. That loopy
Oh
legionnaire
shit, and I
really
sold
thinks
his
that orchid
knives.
charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Ythel anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
That one's kind of
Ever
broken.
hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
Ha!
Well, we probably won't be being in combat for a little bit anyway.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught.
So let me try something.
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all
Okay, so that does not burn this. I was wondering if it was burn the rope. I don't know
Speaking of youthful pure, that loopy
how we would get this stuff. Maybe we just have...
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my lovely nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feather's carriage on a joyride?
Because we can't move either one of these two. You can attempt to move...
And don't forget the time you got caught casting a love note.
Yeah, you can't reach anything.
Right.
Is that why we never sailed with you? Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
I can't even smell the sea air over this mountain.
90 XP? For what? That's nice. The moves are hilarious, to be honest. Oh, we found another one of these, okay.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
Mackerel.
I swear I can hear that bleeding cheese merchant from here.
Okay, so we need to go down there first.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
New information was added to your log.
We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks. Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
Okay, counselor, could she really be a sorceress? In the shop near the town square.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
I don't know why that just popped up. Secrets.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks. Plenty of fish in the sea,
paper
but
knife.
I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks.
I have a ton of fish. Which, I mean, we could always just sell. Fuse. Probably make a, some dynamite. It's funny how you can take all this. Water balloon. smoke screen arrow. Nail bomb, pretty cool. Trap disarm toolkit. You found a trap disarm kit. To disarm trap, first use the disarm trap kit from your inventory, then select the trap. So I guess if you don't have sneak, or high enough sneak, I should say, you can always do that. If you have one, of course. And we got a bunch of dead orcs and everything over there, but that's where the mysterious cave is. We don't need to go over there just yet. Let's say they want us to head over to the other place first. I'm guessing that would be through here. Let's see if he has anything to say.
If you're taking to the sea, leave a wide berth around that black cove. Haunted as me granny's womb is.
Okay.
The sea air over this rock.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Courteous, proud protector of this house of Legion goods.
Tell me about yourself.
Courteous is my name. The Legion is my calling.
What's in that room exactly?
This is a storing house for Legion supplies. Perhaps the most important building in the realm, by my and others' estimation. And I, Sergeant Courteous, have been trusted to guard it.
Okay.
Report!
Florius.
Nothing to report, sir. Well, a source hunter. A very hearty welcome to our humble warehouse. Have a look around. And don't mind if I pick your brain about the scoop around Undervale. I'm behind on my current affairs. I tell you, this gig sure beats getting my toes bitten off by zombies out in the field. We warehouse guards don't have to do much apart from stroll the perimeter a few times an hour. And of course, every now and again, some friendly folks, like yourself, will wander through here. And nothing beats a pleasant conversation, though my comrade Horatius has quite different opinions on that matter.
And what's Horatius' opinion exactly?
Have you talked to him? Thinks every man, woman, and child who steps foot in this place wants to rob it blind. If I so much as greet a townsperson with a hello instead of a state your purpose, he starts frothing on and on about guardly duty and security breaches.
What do you know of current affairs?
This Jake business is quite the scandal, no? I myself suspect his wife Esmeralda, and the butcher seconds that, let me tell you. Then again, and you didn't hear this from me, he's going through quite the nasty divorce himself, and there's his children to consider. But I imagine his youngest, Kimberly, won't mind. Never did get on well with her mother ever since the incident. Oh, it's an unparalleled pleasure having a fresh ear around here.
Can't take anything in here. Ooh, Secrets of the Scroll, the history of Cecile, a crystal. I'd like to get me in there. Moira.
Well, a source hunter. About time the council took us seriously. Maybe you can start with the two idiots hiding their pet orc here.
Okay.
Avert your gaze, and I'll handle this threat for all our shakes.
She wouldn't hurt a fly, and I won't let you hurt a horn on her head.
It's really weird
place
trying to
reeks
move
of all-
stuff. Because I can see that I can get in here through here.
This place reeks of orc stench.
But it won't let me move anything.
Too bad indeed. Not even a skeptic like you can deny that she loves me.
An orc in
One
love.
day, Moira. One day you'll
This
show us.
charming fate shall liberate the flesh from our faces.
This place reeks
Come
of orc
now.
stench.
Enough doom and gloom. Cast your gate.
Ah, who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a friend here that orcs are predators, not pets?
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile. But my prejudiced friend here still wants to kill her.
Tell me about yourselves.
Maybe before the great orc raid we had time to indulge Ninius's idiotic obsessions. But now we're needed at our posts. I can hardly believe I've been wasting time protecting an orc when I should be running them through.
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't enjoyed a woman's touch in quite some time now. It makes him a bit edgy.
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked brutally through the throat. I'll take my chances as a bachelor, thanks.
What's this about a charmed orc?
My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? For a brief second, as long as eternity, we locked eyes. Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind to ignore my sword and instead adroitly fling my pouch of trinkets towards her. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, she became instantly enamored. I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress. A lady with such a sweetly savage manner would never willingly join up with those vicious marauders.
I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for now, but who's telling when she'll escape and who she'll rip to shreds?
A love potion. Tell me more.
I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I read in an esteemed periodical from the Wizards of Youthful Gore about an amazing opportunity that could change my life, I had to act fast or lose the once-in-a-lifetime deal. I sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and it has worked exactly as promised.
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on snake oil and bringing a temporarily tranquilized monster into our midst to boot.
What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement? I'm sure the effects of the potion will be everlasting, as printed.
Sure, let me tell you what I think.
You see, He'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell me you can reason with him, or ditch reason and use your sword to shave him from his murderous darling.
She's got to be put down. If this love
This place
potion
reeks
is as
of
dodgy
old
as it
stench.
sounds, she could come to her vicious senses at any time. Or let her live. If that potion were truly worthless, it wouldn't have been able to charm her in the first place. In this docile state, she may prove to be a source of valuable information. Oh, that's a good point.
Let her live. If that potion were truly worthless, it wouldn't have been able to charm her in the first place. In this docile state, she may prove to be a source of valuable information.
You're right. The information she provides could well turn the tides here in Syceal.
Bravo! I trust not only the potion, but my scaly sweetheart in and of herself.
You're going to regret this. We're all going to regret this.
We convinced the guards to let her live. We met two Cecil guards arguing about whether to kill a charmed female orc or keep her for questioning. See, that's the funny thing. They didn't say anything about questioning
This place reeks of
until
orc
we brought it
stench.
up.
Avert your gaze, and I'll handle this threat for all our sheiks.
She wouldn't hurt a fly, and I won't let you hurt
This
a horn
place
on her
reeks
head.
of orc stench.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
I like the music too. It's nice. It can be calming at times. How do we get over there? Can't reach. We must come out this way. Press M to open your map. Important characters will mark destinations on them. So we want to go to Captain Arias first. That is what they said. Door to Evelyn's house. Who said that? The key? Secure lockbox key. We have some lockpicks. Where the hell did they go? Ah. Level 2 low. Shit. So we just wasted it. Oh well. We have a key, I guess. See, how do we...
What's this? I found something.
Combine items to discover recipes. Oh well? What in the hell would you combine with a well? Oh, a bucket. A bucket of water.
The earth here seems to have been freshly fertilized and aerated. Obviously, someone has taken great care to maintain this gravesite. Are you sure you want to disturb it?
No.
No! That would be an insult to the dead.
And a disgrace to whomever is maintaining this gravesite, too.
You step away from the grave.
Welcome to Tyrone's House of Healing. I better lie. Okay. So we can, where are they? Not the arrow shafts, but these. If we combine two of them. Oh, that's a elvish thingy. Okay.
Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far. But if one were to reduce the quantity of skull dust by a percentage of 2, perhaps the stability could be increased by as much as 3-fold.
Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your kind I encountered, aren't you? Yes, by nearly 20 centimeters of tibia, as my memory serves. But no matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen, I'm sure the Order sent the individual with the next highest probability of success. Yeah?
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Why, I'm more than a little surprised you haven't heard of me. Perhaps I can jog your memory. It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that aging itself can be halted by a single application of Cicuta Douglasii on the tongue. Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicile of late.
So your apprentice has enjoyed some success.
Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary healing method she refuses to share with her own master. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration.
A revolutionary healing method. Can you elaborate?
Of life?
She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing, but she won't let me take the briefest look at it. But she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silver Glen by name, and that an abbot there blessed it with the power to heal. Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silver Glen to learn the truth myself.
Let's discuss your apprentice, Evelyn.
Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making difficult medical decisions. I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She is learning from the best, after all.
Do you have any work for a trio of sailors?
Which of you is
Sorry, but there isn't much work for sailors in a house of medicine. Unless one of them happens to have a secret stash of healing stones.
Let me ask you about affairs around Sicily.
Certainly, what would you like to know?
Do you know anything about Jake's murder?
The counselor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, were hardly a secret, you know.
What can you tell me about the plague of undead?
I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come a step closer to solving it. I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither controlled nor understood by mere men.
Interesting indeed.
Nothing sets me on edge like inexplicable magic.
So, which of you is more deserving of life? Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Seven do you think you are barging in here? Out, I say, right this instant.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death this way? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing! But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see, and 2 direly wounded men who need it. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation, but perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. Surely you are more accustomed to weighing life and death than I.
About your healing stone.
Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loic by name, in the northern town of Silver Glen. He is of a certain faith, the Immaculates they call themselves, that espouses the belief that certain stones can heal wounded flesh. I myself was nothing if not skeptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. A small cut on my finger instantly healed, leaving no trace of the wound. Needless to say, I was astounded. But it's strange. The stone is only good for a single use at a time before it reverts to a useless, inert state. It takes time to regain its magical properties, and I guard it cautiously.
Tell me more about your patients.
What would you like to know?
More about Boris.
One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orcish club in the north, that is. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so, and brought him here straight away.
I'd like to know more about Stephen.
Quite the venerable staple of Sicile, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple, and only a few days shy of his last day of work before retirement, no less. Nearly everyone in Sicile is familiar with grinning Stephen, and, as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. Don't dither long. These men are slipping ever closer toward the edge with each passing minute.
Well, I don't know who to save. The healer's apprentice, Evelyn, asked us to help her decide which of the two dying men should receive a healing stone. It's a tough decision.
Thank goodness the Source Hunter is here. I'm in desperate need of some insight.
Soothing a corpse's troubled mind.
What a relief to share the burden of this impossible task.
Let's get out of here.
These men don't have long.
Oh, I have to make a decision right now.
You are? Ah, I thank you a million times for your help. Who have you decided should receive the healing stone?
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone, or Stephen should receive the stone. We know full well the difficulty of growing up without a family.
Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far.
I mean, I would say Boris because, yeah, he's a much younger person. This guy has lived a life. He has grandchildren.
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone.
Yes. Boris deserves to experience all the pleasures of life that Stephen has already enjoyed.
So, Boris it is? All right. Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man, but my heart breaks for the other.
Thank the seven.
No, this is highly abnormal. What is this? This lightning.
I feel no pleasure in bidding you.
What the hell just happened?
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone. Somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
We should save Boris, young man with many years ahead of him. Right. Okay, so if this is going to be, if we're going to be in combat really quickly, our movement speed is good, but hers kinda isn't great, so we need to move some stuff. Oh, actually, also she can wear... Where'd that hood go? Did we read this? Yeah. Okay, so I guess you can only grab stuff if it's got the hand, but what the fuck is going on?
Terrible, terrible! By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? 2 Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious.
Who are you, and how did you get here?
Oh, yes. Proper introductions. Zix the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was, and is, and hopefully all that is to be. As for how I got here, well, for a historian appointed by the gods themselves, hopping to the end of time is as easy as 1, 2, 3. How you got here, though? That's a rather more interesting question. On such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time, I wouldn't have expected to find a soul but my own shadow.
Why is this place, as you say, shrinking?
Ah, at last a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time. If that didn't send your heart into your stomach and your pulse a-flutter, it should have. Time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally, utterly terrible has happened.
How can time come to an end?
Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens, and feast your soon-to-be terrified eyes on the darkness that is approaching.
So I think that imp may be quite mad.
Then we had better appease him.
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal has become active. Fantastic. Astounding. Onward we should go. The portal. It's quite sprung to life. Just like the long, dormant flames that decorate this observatory. After all my waiting and hoping, could it be? You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of time to grow. The true end itself to move further away. Those torches, a light! This portal active once more. It cannot be coincidence.
So if we die, time will stay. Can we first discuss what we just witnessed through your looking lens?
Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind since I first discovered it. It is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring creation. When I speak of the end of time, this is exactly what I mean. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And if we don't stop it, it will devour the past and present as well.
You believe we are somehow connected to this plane?
It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The chronicler of time knows a pattern when he sees one.
What lies beyond this portal?
Ah, though I cannot say for certain, if it is what I believe, then our prayers might well be answered. In fact, every last question that ever plagues your noggin might well be answered, for I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other than But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through, we'll find out for certain.
Through the portal, then.
After you, after you. Oh, what wonders we may find on the other side.
Well, first... There's nothing in this damn desk. Might as well grab all these pillows. Making sure there's nothing else around.
You first, but don't dilly-dally.
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
What the hell? To the first garden. Okay, so these are all inactive portals. What the hell's this party animal doing here?
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time? Mother of history? Author of all that has ever been?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles all that I weave.
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many questions for you, so much to ask, so much to say.
You have brought guests, I see. Strange. Very strange guests.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that instigated my finding you. But why? Surely you must know.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane?
If you truly are the Weaver of Time, I imagine you already know the answer to that.
If any other being in Rivellon asked me about the details of their comings and goings, I could describe them down to the minutest of details. But you are different. Of you, I see nothing. I know nothing. So please, do tell me, how did you arrive here?
It was a stone, a strange stone that zapped us from where we stood in Rivellon to this plane among the stars.
A stone? So, it was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that brought you here, and it infused you with new life as well. Is that so?
Yes, that's what just happened. That's just what happened. Have you seen it before?
Not like this, no. What happened to you is unique in all my work. Never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. To weave something I had not seen, had not expected. Life does not simply spring into existence, you see. But yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone. Starstone. I now know it to be called.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all? Have you not woven all that is and could ever be into your tapestry?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses appeared not upon my tapestry until they revived the stone. Source hunters, it would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say, but I do believe that finding more stones will reveal to me who you yourselves truly are.
What is the Starstone exactly? Where does it come from?
Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature must be part of a greater secret, a secret lost, even to me. Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What wounds lay upon the tapestry of time?
Mysteries of all time, gaps in history. Oh, how they've tormented me for eons.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread by which to mend the tapestry. Thus, it restores time itself.
I see. What the void would shrink, Starstone restores.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the antidote to the void's ravishment of our realm. If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all.
If these stones can heal history, we must seek them out.
Indeed you must, though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone. Yet we are not the only entities who know these stones to be so much more than pretty gems.
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more and more by the day. Now I understand. They'd keep the stones from our reach. They'd prevent the mending of time.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble. Even this plane will fall victim to the void's insatiable hunger.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First we mend the tapestry, then we stop the void. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you willing? Will you hunt out the stones? Will you help us restore what has been lost? What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell.
The Weaver of Time told us that we are not featured upon the Tapestry of Time, even though all the rest of history and creation is. Why are we the sole exceptions?
Not but a moment ago we were hunting Source in Rivellon. And now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones. What do you make of it?
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to all of this, mad as it may seem.
What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell.
No matter how improbable, anything is possible. If the Weaver tells the truth, we have some serious work ahead of us.
Romantic 1.
Come, come! I've got something for you if you're up to the challenge. What'll it be, Source Hunter? Do tell! The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me that you've not given up on our dear old Rivellon. Not just yet. No, with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend the tapestry in no time. We'll find out just who you are and how exactly to send the void back to wherever it came from. But you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what fantastic changes your search will yield? And who knows what the Weaver might discover about you? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back and forth from the end of time. Just, you know, don't go sharing it around. Never know who we can trust these days. Off you go, then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to how on earth you're related to the end of time.
The Weaver of Time said our finding Starstone helps her weave the tapestry once more. How is that possible?
Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void, I honestly don't know. But ask her. If she claims it is so, perhaps she knows why.
I have some more questions for you.
Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot!
If I'm supposed to search for Starstone, it would be handy to know where to start looking.
Wouldn't it just? Would that I had a Starstone sightseeing guide, but alas, such a booklet does not exist. Just like yourselves, Starstones are curiously absent from history, both in my writings and on the Tapestry of Time. From what I can gather, though, they were once cherished by devious sorcerers whose reign ended long ago. The stones are therefore most likely to be found in the ancient places of this world. Ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those are the dens you should frequent. 2 more pieces of advice. Don't go unarmed, and consult with my agent.
I still don't understand how Starstone and the Void Dragon are related.
Neither do I, but the mere fact that activated Starstone has set the Weaver of Time weaving again more than implies that it and the Void Dragon are natural enemies. This in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting new events in motion. You who is handing the Weaver new threads. And that which she is weaving is more than an ornament to decorate the shelter plane. It is both history and and future history. It is all of time. We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. We shall save creation from the grip of the void. Now, isn't that a lovely mission?
You say you are the imp historian, but you seem to be more than a mere imp and more than a mere historian.
Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission does have its perks. Old age can't touch me, that's one. Immortality is mine as long as no one skewers me with a sword, and even then I'll be back in a jiffy. But of course I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is my duty to record all of history, and an arduous task that is. Not to mention how much stress that void out there is causing me. The end of time. I'll be out of a job. So, gather those star stones so that we may know the history that was lost. Know so that we must not repeat what leads us to this dangerous precipice, but do better and close the dark eye of the void forever.
Don't you find it somewhat lonesome, being the sole chronicler of time?
Lonesome, observing the frontier of creation? Surfing the vibrant tide of the eons, always approaching yet never reaching shore? Lonesome being privy to all that has been and all that is? Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to complain, but one certainly doesn't mind a bit of company now and then. Perhaps you can imagine the profound pleasure it is to have made the Weaver's acquaintance after all these years. I can hardly wait to pick her brain about the great battle of the Sons of Sigurd. The last Rivellonian who remembers it died more than 7,000 years ago. Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return to Rivellon, there will be someone waiting for you. My agent, my eyes and ears upon your world. I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. Time, I need hardly remind you, is of the essence.
Okay. Zizek's told you the secret of waypoint travel. Use the Rift travel button to travel to any waypoint shrine you discovered.
What it is, what lies at the heart of it.
What lies at its heart? Why, nothing, of course.
Self-immolation
The great
skill
absence
book.
of all that even the gods cannot comprehend. It eludes us, like infinity.
You found a skill book. Read it to
finality
unlock
of
a new
tick-tocking
skill.
time. How welcome you are upon this realm, our most honored guest. I hope you begin to find this place more familiar than it may yet seem.
Please tell me more about yourself, madam.
In the ethereal threads of eternity, do I record the deeds of gods and men, of beasts and spectral apparitions. The drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of sand on every beach, the fall of every raindrop on every world, the all but imperceptible touch of lovers' hands. This and all I chronicle without fault. Except, it seems, you.
There are more questions I have for you.
Ask and I shall answer.
Who are
if I
you,
can.
really?
I am the Weaver of Time, as I have told you. Though my existence is one that falls behind and yet far exceeds the verb, to be. I am but what I am, and that is task. It is the same for the historian. Chroniclers both are we of the epics of eternity. Perhaps we are one and the same. Task multiplied by 2. Who has made us? I do not know. Why have they done so? I do not know. Am I the beginning? And am I to be the end? Who shall say? Perhaps I am the first thing in creation. Perhaps I am creation. Perhaps I am the creator. Or maybe it is you. You who makes dying stars rekindle. Time alone will tell.
Why is Starstone so important, and why does it react to me and my colleague alone?
Alas, the answers to those questions still elude me. You and Starstone remain the imperfections upon the tapestry. As yet. A hidden answer lies behind this veil of inscrutability, though. For the link between you and the stones reveals that your destinies are intertwined. I believe that starstones will not lead you to new places of wonder only. No. They will also lead to new knowledge through the restoration of the threads of old.
This may sound silly, but aren't you lonely out here?
Oh, Hunter. I have no need for company. Like I have no need for air or appetite or affection. All I need, and all I am, is time. And time is running out, unless you remedy its decline. And yet, I do enjoy your companionship, for you may prove to become the cure that will heal my slipping soul.
If I understand correctly, I am not at all featured on the canvas of time.
Quite so. Your absence, it should be an impossibility, but no matter where I look, you cannot be found. I do not know you, which makes you my one perennial imperfection, a blind spot in the eye of time. But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone, and time can be redeemed.
I've heard this place called the End of Time. Is that what it is? No more, no less?
What it is but a seed bereft of sun and water. What it could be, that is what the starstones will tell us. What it is but the end. What it could be is the end of ends. I reside in another realm altogether. But ever since the end of time appeared in these deep dark skies, I materialized here, as if forced to watch the one thing that is unwatchable, unendurable. A thankless task that you may yet free me from forever.
How can I redeem time if, as you say, I'm not even part of it?
I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you create time. Indeed, you have set in motion an event I no longer held possible. Know that no longer I did weave. I sat here, at the end of time, and watched on as the void frays the fabric of time like a terrified god that fears the offspring of his own creations. But suddenly there was you. You who stirred the life within the stones. These stones, children of stars, they place new ribbons along my fingers like phantoms out of time. New threads emerged, and I began to weave anew. Starstone gives me new strands to braid into the tapestry. And because you give Starstone energy, it seems that you are creating time. These starstones, please, seek them so that time may yet be mended. Please, for the sake of all that lives and all that loves, seek them so that the void may yet devour itself alone.
Okay. We tried doing some main...
Question has me stumped, milady. Why are there two of us? Two beings that record all of history parallel to one another?
That is a good question, Zigzags. One without a conclusive answer, though its resolution may lie in conception. Where you chronicle, I both chronicle and create. Where you arrive at conclusions, I spin origins besides.
You've opened the Homestead travel menu. This works like a waypoint portal. Select the end of time to teleport to your homestead.
The Lady of Time.
Okay, so that just puts us here. Crazy. That is not what I thought we were,
Source Hunters! I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can come to no harm. I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zigzags, let us turn to the business at hand. Starstone.
Huh. Let us do so indeed. I would greatly value Zigzag's agent's advice.
And I'll be delighted to give it. Dark webs are being woven around these parts, and it is my firm belief starstones are the flies the sorcerer spiders are trying to catch. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. His foul murder and the plight of dying time must somehow be interconnected. That means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble upon Starstone along the way.
How'd you find out Jake was a Starstone collector?
While you were being lectured by our friend the historian and the grande dame of time, I snuck into his house and had a look around. The advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. And sometimes the lady of the house even rewards you with a slice of fresh herring. That's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent and innocent, though bloody murder may have been committed in their name.
Why is it so particularly nice for us to have found a shelter somewhere?
Don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? A bed or a basket so snug it becomes, in a word, safety. But perhaps I speak only for myself, not for veterans such as yourselves that by necessity call any patch of ground they rest upon home. Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish a secret refuge unbeknownst to anyone. To be able to repose without a care is such a precious circumstance, save it all too seldomly.
I wonder, do you put absolute credence in the words of Zigzags? Time, void, the looming end?
Let me phrase it like Zigzags might. A universe without time is like a pen without ink. A pointless instrument stripped of the potential of creation. It is void. It is death. It is nothing. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, or that I understand all that is happening here and out there among the stars, but I do know I'd rather err on the side of caution. If Zigzags worries, I worry. We are talking about a creature, after all, that has reclined among the divines as nonchalantly as you and I laze beside the hearths of home.
How did you become Zigzags' agent?
I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of Youthful Gore. He wondered aloud what on earth a cat was doing out there in the scorching desert, then shared what little food and water he had with him. So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. He laughed and marveled and told me stories about his travels. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. The unspeakable thing you saw through his looking lens. I was awed and frightened, but swore to help him in any way I could. As of now, that includes helping the two of you.
You like how he has a little cat thing right here? Let's trade with him because I know we can get rid of this broom.
Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away?
I wish that I could give this to my other guy because he has all these I need to get rid of. Don't think I need the pillows.
Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away?
That's only 8. Ooh, he has some really good skill books. And they're worth a lot of money.
Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away?
What did she have? This broom. But it's only worth 1.
Did it sprout legs and run away?
Oh, before you go, here. Take this teleporter pyramid. A handy toy indeed that Zigzags asked me to give to you. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have misplaced it. Don't worry though. Use this one here and it'll take you straight to its twin. Now that this matter has been settled, hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my share of hunting too. So if you spot a white cat during your travels, do stop to say hello.
Trick bag. Teleporter pyramids. You've just received a teleporter pyramid. These pyramids are linked to each other and always come in pairs. Open your inventory and use the pyramid to teleport to its pair. Should we?
Oh my god!
Oh.
What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you?
Persuade this character by charming, intimidating, or reasoning. If your perception is high enough, you can see in brackets what answer grants the highest bonus. Intimidate, charm, and reason. Ha! This is a curious mix-up now. It'll be quite the story to tell tomorrow. What is this? Rock, paper, scissors? What? Win a series of rock, paper, scissors matches to convince the other party. Put points in charisma to gain an advantage. Press space to skip to that. We have charm 1. Well, we won that one. Shit. Oh. So we have to win. Because it's only one, so we only get 1 each. She gets 7 every time. So she only needs to win 2. What we lost.
Little mix-up indeed. I don't know what you and that horrible little imp are planning, but leave my bathroom out of it.
That's what you get for trying.
Using a pyramid teleports you to the other pyramid. Give them to your party members or drop them to the ground on locations you want to return to instantly. Throw them around to bypass traps or bar doors.
Don't just stand there. Go! Away with you!
I'm sorry.
What are you still doing here? Begone!
Sigurd's beard! What a find!
Oh.
Mysterious murder, the plot thickens. So where are we? We're over here. We were there. We need to get over there. There's a lot of money in that one.
Oh, my good man. Drink, if you please.
Please do.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good.
Lonesome, spiritless.
Let's go ahead and start towards our main thing because man, we're gonna get sidetracked like crazy.
A good day to you. Undead at every exit. Orcs upon the harbour. We're sealed in.
Okay.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face, Virius. She bit me in the face.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly
Sorry,
soldiers
sir.
are the most ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. The beast looks... Hey, who's that then? Come on. Stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
A curious situation you've got here is the woman in the cage under arrest.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
And what will become of this admittedly strange stranger?
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
Let's see.
Recruits, that was sloppier than Sicilian stew.
Oh, we can take her.
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy if we can trust her to watch our backs.
Recruits, that was sloppier than Sicilian
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Split the party by dragging their portraits away from another. In create groups, okay.
Recruits, that was sloppier
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears?
I meant that I would be responsible for you. I will keep you out of trouble.
In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I am happy to have a friend in such a place.
A child of the bears, what does that mean exactly?
And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. So says the saga of Threes. Do you know it? The wise godwolf Amira raised the child Threes among her litter. So you see, I have good company. Threes the wolfson, and I the bear daughter.
I'd like to ask a few questions.
Ask freely, my friend.
So you were raised by bears in the wild?
Your city is far more wild than Home Forest. In Home Forest, the rules are clear. In Home Forest, your strength and speed determine your fate. Here, a tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage, and one must wait for a kind stranger to grant freedom.
But how did you come to learn to speak?
Jarrett, wise Jarrett, taught me the bird songs of our people. If not for him, I would never have learned more than the beasts could teach me. A beast's life is to survive. A human's is to know. I am both beast and human, and so I must do both.
You seem to know quite a lot of history for the daughter of a
Sorry,
bear.
sir.
How is this possible?
I have learned all the bird song that Jarrett could teach. I remembered every word. These tales have brought me much pleasure. The remembering of the beasts is without lies. We know not to approach the wasp's nest because long ago one bear mother discovered its dangers. This she taught to her cubs, and those cubs taught the next. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes. We remember only what is useful to us now. Rito will be forgotten. The beauty of the story will be forgotten. But the lesson will not. It is different between beasts and humans. I am lucky to enjoy both ways.
Tell me more about Jarrett.
He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild one, yet unaware of the difference between the other cubs and herself. He called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great bird. We each reached out to the other. We found each other. Jarrett visited me often. And in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food and fetched his water by day while he studied his books and his magics. By night, by the fire, he'd tell me tales of the world of people. Jarrett is my master and my friend, my teacher and myself. He teaches me and I care for him.
Why have you come to Sisu?
I heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. I have seen more faces here in a day than I had seen in all the days of my life together. But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. It is my duty to find him.
Have you any clue where Jarrett might be?
That mystery is thick and ugly as a swarm of hornets. It started with a great disturbance in Home Forest. A terrible disease came in the night and turned the birds and beasts soft and foul as carrion while they still lived. I watched countless of my loved ones die, rotted from the inside. When I ran to Jarrett to tell him what I had seen, his reaction was strange. He had no answer. The next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. I broke down the door, and inside his chamber was nothing. His equipment, his books, all but some scraps of parchment were gone. He was kidnapped, and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. Death, coming for you. And the signature? Attenborough. I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he or she may know where Jarrett has been taken. Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
There's little in our world more... oh, is this going to be like a conversation? More variable than the minds of men. It is a source of great beauty and much despair, and all of it's uniquely human. Yes, as you've noticed, we are an unpredictable species, as likely to kill as to heal. It's best to be aware of those you meet for this very reason. Well, I like the first one. We take each in stride and we prepare for either. You'll find your fellows surprise you, for better and for worse, in equal parts, their door.
It is difficult for me to claim humanity as you do. I am still learning to see myself in the faces of those I meet. And those I meet do not always see themselves in me. It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me.
Cool, so now we have another person. So.
That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again.
A dagger.
Those boots will embarrass a bridge crew. Get your shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Let's see, fire arrow, stunning arrow, poison arrow.
Sorry, sir.
We'll put these all in her hotkey. And all of the arrow stuff, let's go ahead and send her. What the hell? Hot topics in Pyramid How-To. 1. You can travel from one pyramid to the other. Delightful. 2. Connected parties will follow whoever has initiated travel. 3. You can use the pyramids while holding them, or you can place or throw them on the ground and interact with them. 4. In order to pick up a pyramid once more, you must drag it from wherever it rests into your inventory.
Sicilian stew. Again.
Oh yeah, what is this? Create a fire surface around you with you in the middle. Grants everyone around you 25% fire resistance for 2 turns and removes frozen and stunned.
Sorry, sir.
I feel like that'd be better for her.
Sorry, sir.
Is she saying that every time?
Attention! About face! To That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Attention! About face! To the barracks! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
Could not learn stuff. Your level is. Oh, okay. So we need a level of 3. Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Not enough crafting ability. A potential item combination but lack the requirements to successfully complete the combination. God damn it.
Sorry, sir.
Can she do it? Nope.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Those boots would embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining, recruits!
Sorry, sir.
You'll find that most prefer talking to the main heroes, though you're willing to trade with companions too. What are you, some kind of wandering butler? You can tell your boss I'll have no dealings with a go-between. Okay. So...
You think that's funny, Private?
Actually, what is our...
Sir! No, sir! Attention! About face! To the barracks! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
No charisma.
Attention!
None. Does she have any? No, none of us have any charisma.
To the barracks! Notch! Recruits, good luck with these Sicilian sauce hunter. They'll run you ragged if you let them.
That's it? Whatever. You seem like a jackass.
Those boots would embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining, recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Welcome back to Seal Hunter. The Legion greets you.
The Legion stands at the ready.
Open the city gate if you please.
You don't look like you're quite ready to head out into the undead-infested wilds to me. Also, a party of 1 or 2 runs the risk of being outflanked and outnumbered. I'd bring some backup if I were you. Of course, the choice is yours, but are you sure you want to venture out? Thank you for heeding my words of warning, Hunter. Seal needs you a lot.
Okay, so this isn't... Okay, this is just to a gate over here. If I would have just went a little bit more to the left, I would have seen it.
Sorry, sir.
what have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into dribbling hordes of their own misshapen number.
Let's discuss Jake's murder.
Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town. Not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you!
In regards to Jake's wife, Esmeralda.
Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition. If you must.
So your main problem is the undead?
Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all.
How are you enjoying Cecil?
How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sicil stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Sicil.
Tell me about the Legion.
We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably.
What, in your opinion, are the orcs doing on the beach?
I'd say they are looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion.
Aru tells me he suspects a sect might be at work around Cecile.
Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. You'll be seeing flying carpets next.
That guy's interesting. Why can't we read any of your books? There's a Rue.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome.
How would you tell me a bit more about yourself, Rue?
But certainly. What would you like to know?
We've already asked the other ones, so is it dangerous to polymorph like you do? What if you get stuck in another form?
Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make the polymorph permanent if she'd enchant me in my cat guise, but I'll just have to be careful around witches, won't I? I'm my own wizard, you know, and I don't intend to become anyone's familiar.
I found the second teleporter pyramid in Lady Cicely's bathroom. Didn't peg you for a peeping tomcat.
What? I'd never. If you must know, I was merely checking up on Maxine, the mayor's cat. What a delight she is. The temperament of a tiger, the grace of a leopard, and the manners of a lady all rolled into one. A perfect puss, if ever there was one. But certainly, oh, I am but a wizard, a guardian
okay, we
of
haven't
man
heard these.
and beast, and indeed I am both. My body, like any other, is bound to temporal decay, but my spirit is a speck of light that shone forth from the eternal sun that is the cosmic soul. My task upon this earth is to protect the heart of nature, the very antithesis of which is the intrigue spun by demons and directors of the dead. Hence my involvement in Sicil. You see, my one desire is to witness a world in which every mother looks around her and purrs with calm contentment, for she knows that her chicks or children, her cubs or calves, will grow up without knowing the meaning of menace, the enfeeblement of fear. To my great regret, none of them purr as yet.
Do tell me a bit more about this cat trick of yours.
Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct, even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. You couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew oh, that I'm my own wizard, you know, by all means.
Let's discuss Jake's murder.
Of course. I hope your investigation fares well.
What happened the night of the murder?
I can but piece together what few morsels fell from the grapevine into a rather disappointing meal, I'm afraid. They say a woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. She retired to a room on the ground floor where she was soon joined by a man who had been nursing the same cup of wine for hours. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour later, another figure arrived, headed for the same room. Soon after, a terrible commotion erupted and the thundering light of magic was witnessed by the few remaining patrons. It took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage to enter the mystery room. When finally he did, he found Jake there, dead. How and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before the Legion barred anyone from entering. The traces of magic I felt were vile. Source, no doubt.
Who, in your opinion, are the suspects?
I myself have none. Even though the rest of the town has already mentally tried and convicted Jake's wife, Esmeralda. Now, it may well be established that she is in fact the guilty party. I'm not claiming that I'm certain she's innocent, but let's just say that if I really thought this murder case would be so very easily resolved, I wouldn't have sent for source hunters.
Is there more you can tell me about the strangers that seem to be in league with the orcs?
I can't say much more, but that they're madmen. All the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. You won't see me teaming up with a terrier in a hurry.
I have a few questions about Cecil.
And what might those be?
What can you do about the undead that threaten Cecil? What can we do?
Those who are raising the dead dwell among us. They simply must be. But even though I've spent many a night leaping from tree to rooftop, watching on as citizens stagger home from the inn or simply burn the midnight oil, I haven't spied a single soul worthy of true suspicion. The enemy is wily. They know us better than we know them, and they've found ways to avoid both detection and distrust. And yet, I am somehow convinced that you may succeed where the Legion and I have failed. Call it instinct.
You seem to have a bit of an orc problem, do you not?
You have a flair for understatements, Hunter. I'm sure they are but a minor nuisance in the eyes of a born warrior. But to the Legion, they are green-skinned death incarnate. Until they conclude what mischief they intend to see through, or, less likely, they are conclusively defeated, we can but bar the gates and hole up like mice while the cats are on the prowl.
How did you design those magical ballistae of yours?
Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline and the engineering skills of a human. You basically construct a classic ballista, add a 100% legally obtained self-regenerating source of destructive magic to it, and Bobcat's your uncle.
I'll take my leave. Alright, so our log updated. I noticed it flashed green when he was talking. A mysterious murder. 2 cloaked figures. Man, we should be able to go into these cells. There's no people down here besides 2 guards.
Quiet! No talking to these scoundrels, criminal scum!
There's nobody in here.
Oh, thank you to take a step in another direction. This is the Legion treasure room, and you've no business bothering with it. Your not-so-sterling reputation happens to precede you.
I don't have a reputation yet, bitch. I wonder... I wish it went back into the slot. Damn.
You think that's funny, Private?
Do we have something else to ask him?
Ah, the Source Hunter. Oh, if you must.
No. Okay, where is... Okay, she's back here. I'd like to talk to her.
You think that's funny, Private?
She's in this house. Oh yeah, and also, oh here's our, okay, so that's how much we need for experience.
The 7, we've secured the perimeter.
Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here, sworn as I am to protect Lady Esmeralda from the rabble that would enforce summary justice on her, even though she is, until proven guilty, wholly innocent.
And you are?
I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. But never shall I lose heart. Long as a single legionnaire stands, all of us remain undefeated in the eyes of the gods.
What do you think about Esmeralda?
So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of murder, but in my mind, her presumed guilt is a fallacy, and indeed a fabrication. Steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. And I hold no such proof exists.
Let's discuss Jake's death.
Jake's murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Sicile. The Council of 7 couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people should have braved the undead siege for so long, only to be felled by foul sorcery, is heartrending.
I'd like to ask you some questions.
And what questions are those?
Tell me about Cecil.
This place is practically a tomb, and these Sicilians are constantly crying for our attention. There's a zombie in my garden, an orc ate my baby. My sheep is gone, oh woe is me. It never ends. I'll be grateful when our reinforcements finally arrive. Maybe they'll manage to muster the will to care.
Tell me about the undead.
Proper soldiers shouldn't be ordered to fight such unnatural abominations. We used to cut them limb from limb by the dozen, only to see a gross of them rise from the ground and stalk out of long-abandoned cellars. Accursed are their souls, and accursed are ours too for having to look upon them day after sorry day.
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the matter?
Who are you?
I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor. But his one and only princess just the same.
Let's discuss your husband's murder.
Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you? So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my headaches.
I've been told your husband collected something called Star Stone. Care to elaborate?
Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake had a mineral collection, yes. As far as I knew, it was one of his pastimes, nothing more. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. I feel like I'm drifting from nightmare into nightmare.
Can you tell me more about this place?
Well, what do you want to know?
Tell me about Cecil.
Sicil. Now that's a sad story.
Need to remember that.
Roofs of elegant homes burned for fuel. Oaken cupboards emptied. And ladies dragging the dregs of their great skirts to bargain for fish bones.
Tell me about the undead.
I've heard that once they're animated, the undead feel all the rage and violence their living counterparts felt during life. Can you imagine living through all your most chaotic feelings all the time?
She seems to be quite adamant.
We'll need
Suspicious
to look for
minds.
evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
My, what a strong and handsome officer you are, kind Septimus. You must have fought many a battle, am I right?
The perfect murder.
I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero, Esmeralda, dearest. I'm just doing my duty, you know, for the Legion.
Well, you certainly are my hero. The rock upon which I may rest my weary soul in these trying and troubled times.
Never.
Smelly panties. Okay. Whoops. Don't take or touch property that isn't yours. Owners will be offended and their attitude towards you will drop. They will call the guards if you've gone too far. I didn't mean to do that.
Book about setting up the
Dear
perfect
Septimus,
crime.
that you haven't been fighting those awful orcs. I can't bear to imagine something would happen
Pickpocketing.
to
Care
you.
for a sneak peek into someone's pocket. Enter sneak mode and sneak behind them and try to pick a pocket.
Oh, but what if you were to be ambushed, caught unawares? Oh, catch me, for I might faint.
Okay, so we got Why the Gods Left Rivellon. Did the gods ever exist, or are they mere boogeymen created by fanatics and priests? Many have sought an answer, but I ask whether discovering the truth is worthwhile. I say that we do not need gods in our daily life, for if these supernatural beings exist, who is to stop them from enslaving us if ever they should deign to return? That wasn't. The Perfect Murder. Kicking in Other Buckets. Planning the Perfect Murder by M.R. Giggles. Mr. Giggle. Winner of the Assassin's Guild's Brass Knuckle Award. Preface. So you have determined to take a life. My sincerest congratulations. Savor this moment, friends. Taste the sweetness of the feeling that grows in your belly. Soon you will have sent a soul flying into the ether. Your hand alone will have caused the fabric of existence to have undergone a permanent and undeniable change. You are preparing to undertake the most exquisite endeavor of your life, and you'd be remiss not to luxuriate in every surrounding moment. Chapter the First. Selecting your target. There are several questions to consider when determining which life is best to seize. The following are but a few to consider. If the head of your intended victim is sufficiently round and symmetrical to make an impressive mounted trophy? Does he or she have hair of sufficient length and health to spin into a lovely yarn for darning socks or throw rugs? Will his or her hide provide for supple shoes, bags, and belts of a color that suits your eyes? Chapter the Second. Choosing a modus operandi. Selecting the method with which to carve, strangle, or pierce your victim is in itself more a matter of art and of soul than of fact and science. Arrows are fine for sportive types. A dagger turns the carpet red as a valentine. Suffocation behoves lovers and mothers. Poison compliments a bitter heart. In the end, select the method you believe best accomplishes the moral and spiritual effects you desire. Chapter the Third. Execution. The most important and delectable step in any murder, dear reader, is the moment of execution. By this I do mean the brute force of the violence. If a violent method you have chosen, or the interim, ever agonizing, between the administration of poison and the first sign of its effects, no, the moment to which I refer is that precise event when life flees from the victim and the eyes transfigure, light to dark, flashing to still, bright to dumb. This is the holy minute, the minute when the act materializes, complete, no longer planned or attempted, but completed. This is the moment during which you write your name in the sky, for you have done something that, like the stars, cannot be undone. Chapter the Fourth. The Afterglow. Now the moments after the execution are hardly the time to worry about practicalities. No, this is your time to quietly reflect, to enjoy your transformed self, your transformed place within the cosmos. Make yourself a cup of tea, if you please, or light a pipe. The details can wait. When you find yourself fully refreshed, you might consider what to do with one's person, whose remains you must now inter or preserve, as is your pleasure. The easiest and most classical means of disposal is, of course, to bury the remains, but think long and hard about precisely which remains to bury. The civilized among us know full well that waste is a sure sin. So, if there is yet some function that may be wrought from the once person's remains, it is imperative that you do so. Might not a family of beggars appreciate a meaty rack of ribs? Might not a local tanner, down on his luck, thank you for a length of virgin leather? Do you not deserve some special token, a keepsake for your labors? Once these matters have been attended to, you might concern yourself with removing the dregs of your efforts from your sight. A freshly rained upon bog is ideal, though a freshly dug grave in your local cemetery will hardly notice a bit of additional rubbish tucked in below the intended casket. Epilogue. If you have successfully completed your endeavor, you might find yourself wondering after and planning for the next. This is a natural and desirable result of executing as you have learned. The perfect murder. The author wishes you luck and satisfaction as you explore your newfound passion. Remember, until you've reached a dozen, you've hardly scratched the surface. Wow. We found a book in Esmeralda's house that details the means of committing the perfect murder. I wonder what she'll have to say for herself. Yeah. She's a bush.
I can't bear to imagine something would happen to you.
But don't you worry. We Legionnaires are highly trained soldiers who fear
Oh, but what if you were to be ambushed, caught unawares? Oh, catch me, for I might faint.
I was like, God damn it, I don't need to be sneaking anymore. Okay, so there's only rats in here. And the only thing I'll really steal if it really benefits us. I wonder, is it only bad to steal if people find you? How do we move this? Ooh, the Adventures Field Guide Volume, whatever.
So that's what that did.
Sheet of paper. Zombie painting. Bloody dagger.
Could this have been involved in the crime?
It certainly piques one's interest, doesn't it?
Ooh, unidentified corroded copper ring. This ring was probably purchased from a passing peddler of curious objects. It has the look of a ring that's graced fingers from trolls to lords. Need level 1 lore master and an identifying glass to identify. Unidentified items. You found an unidentified item. Identifying glass or pay a merchant to do so for you. You or the merchant will need enough points in lore master to do so. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay, they're just for crafting. Gotcha. We have a book. The Adventurer's Field Guide. With armor, there's one golden rule. You can never have enough. So if you find scraps here and there, pick them up and tuck them down your shirt. An extra layer of leather or metal will be what it takes to stop the next arrow that's coming for you. That's it? Oh, okay.
Polite, handsome, and single. Don't go anywhere tonight, Legionnaire. I'd be afraid alone in the dark.
Perfect Murder was a very interesting book. But, guys, this is where we have to end it. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I know I am. Have a great day, and I'll see you. Bye.